Alrighty, folks, welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have locations in the original Schrock Innovations in Lincoln, Nebraska, 27th and Pine Lake Road, in Omaha, 168th and Burke at Village Point South, in Papillion, 370. Also, all across the country on the Schrock desk, and right now, also on Facebook. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Now, I usually say this toward the end of the program, but at the bottom of the hour. It's like the end of the first half, I guess. But I want to put this out up front here because there were some people, knocking me on Facebook a little bit for saying it's recorded live. Okay, so here's the deal. This show airs live every week. I try to be here every week. I'm here on Easter Sunday, all right? I try to be here every week because I know there's stuff that happens every week, and nobody likes reruns. I always grew up hating that when I'm listening to AM radio and I hear like a best of show. I mean, they didn't even take the time to stitch something together. It's like, so yeah, once in a while, I get it. Life happens. Stuff comes up. You've got to run a best of, which is also known, in the olden days as a rerun. And you can't really pick the best show you had because you have to pick a show that has no references to date, no references to events or time-sensitive things or sales or things like that. You've got to pick a show that's pretty generic, right? And then, of course, you have the I got hit by a bus on the way to the show, backup show, that's like completely generic. Let's talk today about some really generic things about Schrock Innovations because I'm not really here. So here's the thing. If you don't hear any calls on the program, that's a dead giveaway that it's a recorded show, okay? That's just the rule number one. Rule number two, if you hear your own voice and you're not calling in, it's probably a recorded show. Now, this is not a recorded show. However, we do air recorded shows from time to time. Here's why. So, for example, today, I am live in the studio on Sunday morning between 7 and 8 a.m. So if you want to call 866-496-8772 Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m., you will end up right here in the studio with me, and you'll get on the air. You'll have a chance to win that gift certificate. $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate we give away every week. Number two, this show re-airs on various stations throughout the weekend because not every station has the 7 to 8 a.m. Sunday morning time slot available. As you might imagine, God likes that time slot too. So there are church services and things that have been on for years on these stations that aren't going to move because little old Thor Schrock and Schrock Innovations wants to do a computer show, okay? It's not going to happen. But they have time at 2, for example. And, maybe at 10 they have time. So they get us in where they can. So they run the show a little bit tape delayed. So if you're hearing the program on a time other than Sunday morning, if you're hearing it on Saturday, for example, some stations air it on Saturday. That's why. It's not, you're not a time traveler. That's why. So you can give us a call, 866-496-8772. We'll put you on the air. So with that all said, I have an announcement to make. Those of you who have been listeners to the program for quite a while know that earlier in the year, we did a preventative maintenance checkup sale. For those of you who are longtime listeners, you know exactly what that is and what that means. For the sake of new listeners and new stations, I'm going to explain it today. However, you also know that the last one that I announced, I said, I'm not sure this year because of the way the promotional calendar works out. Well, we have a little bit of a gap. We were able to squeeze it in, and this is a great time. It's back to school time. It's a good time to get the computer checked out. So I said, you know what? We can't do the full. Normally, a maintenance checkup sale goes on for weeks because, so today I say, hey, it's the sale. It's starting. Some people don't hear that on the show till next week, depending on when the show airs. Then they hear about it. Then, when the sale's over, I said, today is the last day. Well, people don't hear about that for a week. So then a week later, today is the last day. And we have to honor it everywhere, even though you think it's over. So it's sloppy and messy. But a 1-week sale becomes a minimum of a 2-week sale as a result. And then you have a week at the end where everybody's like, oh, no, I missed it. Can I please have the sale? And you're like, oh, fine. Okay. We're here to help you out. We're a service company. We're going to help you out. And so basically this sale is not going to be like the normal 4-week event that we have for a maintenance checkup sale. This is going to be a pretty quick deal. This is going to be probably a week to 2, okay? Because we're starting to pick up a little bit, so we don't want to get ourselves in a situation where we have a lot of computers coming in for preventative maintenance while we have other customers coming in for repairs. So here's the long and the short of it. Okay, for those of you who know what's going on, a preventative maintenance checkup sale is in effect. Preventative maintenance in effect. Schrock Innovations. Here's the deal. certificates are available on the website at schrockinnovations.com. You can bring your computer in for a preventative maintenance checkup. Of course, we have bench spots in all 3 service centers right now. You can bring it into the service center. We'll get it up on the bench for you, do the preventative maintenance, and get it back to you. And turnaround times are very nice right now. Now, the second thing is, if now is not a good time for you to bring it in, but you're in the middle of something, you don't have time to do it, or 2, maybe you just did a preventative maintenance. Maybe you just had it in and used your last certificate you bought in February. Now, you can go to the website and buy another certificate. Now, these certificates are basically, you're prepaying for a maintenance checkup at the sale price, and the certificate is good for 6 months. So you can bring it in anytime in the next 6 months that's convenient for you. Pretty simple, right? So we sent an email, okay? Now, the last time, I want to get your opinion on this. Give me a call, 866-496-8772. I'm torn, okay? We're going to do the maintenance sale, and we sent the email already. So if you think you're on the email list and you didn't see the email, it's Hotmail, Yahoo, whatever, send it to spam or promotions, and you never saw it. So if you're hearing about it for the first time this morning, if you're a Schrock customer, you should have got an email. Unless, of course, you have removed yourself from the email list. If you do remove yourself from the email list, that also removes you from all other contact lists, including phone calls, text messages, the whole enchilada, okay? So that's the first thought. Second, last time, a couple sales ago, we did a test where we sent out a telephone call. So we did the email and we did all the normal contact methods. Then we send out a phone call as well. And some people appreciated the phone call. Some people really, really hated the phone call. Like, we got a 1-star review on our Google, and those never go away. Those are terrible. But we got a 1-star review on Google because we called somebody on a Saturday afternoon about the maintenance checkup sale. Yeah. Okay. So we were trying it out. So after we got that 1-star review, I said, okay, it's obvious that people feel very passionately about this. We don't want to call people who don't want to be called. We obviously use the do not call registry and things like that too, all the stuff you're required to do. So here's my question for you this morning. Should we send a 30-second, it's a robocall, guys. I have 20,000 customers. We're estimating that if we send a call, it's going to be about 12 to 13,000 calls at about 75 cents to $1 a call. So now you can see that this is like a big deal. This is like $13,000 of phone calling. So should we send a call telling people the preventative maintenance checkup sale is going right now at Schrock? You can go buy a certificate at the website, or you can bring your computer in. Or should we not? I want to hear your opinion, because honestly, if you would appreciate that, if you didn't know about the sale, as of right now, if you didn't know about the sale, that means that we wouldn't have reached you if we don't send a phone call or I don't talk about it on the air, right? So my thought here is, we'll send the email, get as many people to respond from the email as possible. I'll talk about it on the radio, get as many people to respond to that as possible, and then we'll send the phone call to as few people as possible, because that's a lot of money for phone calls, assuming we even send a phone call. All right, Kathy on Facebook is saying no robocalls. Kathy, I understand that, but it's physically impossible for us to call 13,000 people in a week. It's not possible. We have to use technology to automate that. So it would be a robocall. It wouldn't be asking you to transfer. It wouldn't have have you got the cruise ship one? You've won a cruise. I hate that one. Or, our records indicate your auto warranty is expired. Yeah, I got this one. I got that one too. So yeah, the robocalls are no fun. And obviously, if you add yourself to the do not call list, the National Do Not Call Registry, whatever they call it, responsible companies don't call you anymore. And we subscribe to that list, so we don't call people who are on the do not call registry. So then if you're saying, I wanted a phone call, but I didn't get one from you, it's because you're on the do not call registry. And it's illegal for us to call you with a robocall. All right. So Kathy says no. So the vote right now is no robocalls. Okay. So 866-496-8772. We obviously wouldn't call people. We set rules up, like, don't call anybody who's already bought a certificate, because that's stupid. Don't call people who have been in for a maintenance checkup in the last 6 months, because they probably don't want another one at this point, or possibly they don't want one. And yes, we could explain to them, yes, you can buy a certificate and it's good for 6 months, but I don't know that we want to robocall those people. The other thing is, let's not robocall customers that haven't been in for 5 years or longer, because they probably are not in the area anymore. So we don't want to call them either. And then we can whittle it down to about 13,000. We start with a call base of 20-something thousand. So it's pretty crazy. All right. Roger also votes no phone call. 1 star. Keith says, were you looking for No, Keith, I wasn't looking for accolades for sending a robocall, but I also wasn't looking for someone giving me a 1-star review because we called them. That was it. He didn't have a problem with the call. He just gave us a 1-star review because we called him. All right, so 866-496-8772. What is a preventative maintenance checkup? Guys, we have a ton of new listeners, so I know that this is old hat for some of you. There's also some logistic things I need to cover here because we have a lot of new listeners, especially in Iowa, especially in the Des Moines area from WHO. Welcome aboard, guys. We don't have a service center in your city yet, okay? We're launching the radio show first. We're going to see how it's received. You know, if people like it, then we'll put a service center there. If people are like, it's fun to listen to, but I wouldn't take my computer there, if you know what I mean, then we probably won't put a service center there, okay? And how are we going to determine that? I've said in the past, we're going to determine that by website sales. Here's a logistic problem, however. If you are not geographically proximate to one of our service centers, we can't do a full preventative maintenance checkup on your computer. We can't. Because a full preventative maintenance checkup includes the following things. First, we test your hard drive twice, 2 different tests. We do a smart test, which is the same kind of test that Drive Advisor does. If you don't have Drive Advisor, you should download that from driveadvisor.com. It does a smart test. It's a history test of everything that's happened to your hard drive in the past, and then we take all the events that have happened to your hard drive and we run them through an arithmetic blender to come up with a health percentage that predicts whether your hard drive is about to fail or not. So, and how likely it is, and the lower the health rate, the more likely it is to fail. So we test that first. Then we do a surface test because it's possible, like I said, the smart test tests the past. It doesn't test the present. The present is a surface test. Is the drive experiencing a problem right now on the bench that we need to know about? It's a drive that comes back with 100% health and bad surface areas on the drive. That's also a failing hard drive. We test that. We test your computer's memory. To test the memory properly, you can't have the computer booted into Windows. So we boot off of a Linux flash drive and we run a memory test. Then next step. Now that we know we're dealing with good hardware, we also test your power supply, which requires us to remove the cables from the motherboard. You can see how doing this over the internet might be a problem. And plugging them into a power supply tester that tests all the voltages and tells us if the power supply is bad. Handy stuff. Then we put it all back together. We inspect the capacitors on your motherboard to make sure they're not bulged or leaking. Again, hard to do over the internet. Then once we know we have all the hardware taken care of, next step is we get into the software. So we're going to start off by doing all the Windows updates that are out there for you. We're going to make sure you're running version 1803 of Windows, the most recent version. We're going to make sure that you have antivirus software and that it's up to date and current and protecting your computer to the best possible extent that it can. Lots of antivirus programs are shoddy, but that's a topic for another program. We just make sure you have something. If you have a shoddy one, we'll tell you it's shoddy, but at least you have something. We run scans with multiple programs for malware because there is no one program out there that is one of the freebie scanners that actually will catch everything. So we run multiple scans and multiple programs to catch all the malware on the computer. We remove a lot of it for free as part of the maintenance checkup. As long as we can click a button and remove it, we don't charge. But if we have to go in and actually remove it, we do charge labor for that. We'd call you to authorize that. So then next up, now we know the computer's hardware is good, it's virus free, and it's up to date. Now we can start optimizing it. So we're going to do things like cleaning up registry errors. Now, we've told people in the past you don't need a registry cleaner. We recommended a program to do this actually called CCleaner. They are in the news this week, and I'm going to talk about that later in the program here. Some privacy concerns with CCleaner we're going to address here on the show. It's nothing you have to worry about, but if you hear about it, I want you to know you heard about it here first. So there's that. We're going to run CCleaner to clean up the registry. Then we're going to clean up the hard drive as well, get all the temporary files and things out of the drive that are there. Get all that stuff running as best we can. We've removed all the gunk, fixed all the errors. We're going to go through and do a defragmentation of the hard drive unless you have a solid state, because you never defragment solid states. If you have one of our builds that has the safe and stored backup option, well, it means you have a second hard drive to do backups. We double check that you have a current backup, that your backup drive is not full, and that your last backup completed successfully. A lot of people who have this option on their desktop computers, if you let the computer go to sleep, the backup will never complete because the computer is asleep. Backups don't happen when the computer is asleep, and the computer does not make up backups outside of the normal backup time, which we usually set for 7 p.m. on Sunday night. So we check that during the maintenance checkup as well. All said, everything said and done, a maintenance checkup between all these tests, especially on something like a holiday special, takes 8 hours plus. We also check your warranty status. We do place calls about warranties, like the robocalls, but only for people whose warranties are expiring, who we might owe money to. Okay. So if you bought an extended warranty and we might owe you money, you get a call from us saying, this is Thor from Schrock. We might owe you money. Call us back. Because the problem is there's so many fake calls going on out there, like the fake Microsoft calls and, the fake, they're doing everybody now, that people, when they hear from my staff calling them, they don't know their voice. They say, it's a scam, and they hang up on them. And they're like, no, we're really from Schrock. No, you're not. Click. Look at your caller ID. You could fake that. Click. If it's, hey, this is Thor from Schrock, then they're like, oh, hey, I know his voice from the radio. Now, again, we come into the problem is that would be between endpoint and warranties, 400 calls a month. Ooh, I'm not an insurance salesman, guys. I got people's computers to fix, so we use robocalls. So anyway, so that's the maintenance checkup. It takes approximately 8 hours to do a maintenance checkup on a computer, which is why we normally charge $89.99 for a maintenance checkup. It's about $10 an hour for the work. So $90 for a maintenance checkup. That is still, we used to be, back in the day, Schrock was the expensive place to go. Best Buy charges like $189 for the same thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's the preventative maintenance checkup. Now, here's the deal. Once or twice a year, we put these checkups on special for half off, which is what we're doing today. So you can bring your computer. We're open on Saturday from 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening, Sunday from noon to 5. We're also open during weekdays as well. But if you were going to bring it in on the weekend, you can bring that into the service centers. We get you on the bench. If we have an open spot, you go right up on the bench, which we do have some open spots this morning. Otherwise, we put you in queue, which means you're the next one to go on the bench when we have a slot. You can buy these checkups right now for half off instead of $90. Okay. The sale is quick. It's not going to go on for very long. We can't have it go on for very long because while you're on the website looking at maintenance checkup certificates, there is a second product you'll notice that has popped up on the specials page. If you click on, the easy way to find the maintenance checkup certificate is go to SchrockInnovations.com. You click on shop and you click on specials, and then boom, it's there on the site. You can buy the certificate, and you can also buy the October Safe Upgrade. Now, it's a little early to push this out because we're still in August, and I know the Halloween candy is on the shelves, guys. We talked about that last week, but we don't know. Microsoft says tentatively October-ish. So it could be late October. It could be early October. It could be November. We never know. But I figured while you're going there to buy a certificate anyway, and you're creating a Schrock account, you're going through all this stuff, if you wanted to put the October Safe Upgrade in your cart as well, it's there for you to do that. And we'll talk about Safe Upgrade really briefly. This is more for people who kind of know what that is and know that they want it. But the preventative maintenance checkups are on special. Now, if you are not geographically proximate, remember, guys, in Des Moines, if you're not close to a Schrock service center and you purchase a preventative maintenance checkup certificate, we can do about 75% of the preventative maintenance checkup over the Schrock desk. We can install Drive Advisor, which does the test of the hard drive. There are memory tests that we can run from within Windows that will allow us to test your computer's memory from within Windows. It's not as good of a test, but it's a test. And if it fails, if any of your hardware is bad, what are we going to do about it? We don't have a service center nearby. We can tell you your hardware is going bad. But if you have a bad hard drive, we can't complete the maintenance checkup because you really don't want us to stress your hard drive out with a defrag if it's failing, okay? So I would encourage people who are not geographically proximate to skip the maintenance sale this time, okay? Skip it this time around. Don't buy a certificate. We're not going to have a service center in Des Moines in the next 6 months, and I would hate for people to buy a certificate and think that they were going to be able to use it and then not be able to use it. On the other hand, if you're okay with a partial maintenance checkup for the sale price of $45 over the Schrock desk, you want to try out the Schrock desk, whatever, feel free to grab a certificate on the website, Schrock. Get you scheduled up. Just call in when it's convenient for you. And I would recommend, as far as the Schrock desk-based maintenance checkups, we have 8 seats on the Schrock desk. At any given point in time, we have a couple seats taken up for regular warranty stuff. Please don't call during the sale to ask us to do a maintenance checkup over the Schrock desk. Let's wait till after the sale. So grab a certificate, do it that way. 866-496-8772. I'm way late for a break here. So when we come back, Rick, Jeff, Stuart, Linda, we're going to rapid fire your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, and you're listening to Compute This. 866-496-8772. Going through during the break, I go through all the Facebook comments and try to answer people as best I can. Kathy asked me, do you still have Secure Updater? Of course we do, Kathy. Secure Updater is a beast. In fact, there's a CCleaner story, and Secure Updater updates CCleaner, and then they pulled a version. So there's a whole bunch of CCleaner news going on out here. So I want to talk about that, but not right this second. First, let's go to Rick's call. Rick, welcome aboard. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Okay. I have two computers, a laptop and a desktop.
Okay.
The desktop is a newer one that I had Schrock.
Thank you.
The Windows 10 update came in good on that, and automatically I didn't have to have an assistant or anything.
Nice.
Now, the laptop, I purchased an assistant from you.
Okay.
But I haven't turned that one on in several months, and I'm about to turn it on. What can I expect?
All right. You can expect it to be badly out of date. So if you had antivirus on the computer is going to freak out because it's antivirus. It's going to think it's expired. So just ignore those warnings at first. But the first thing I would do, once you turn it on, let it go through its startup sequence where it's figuring everything out. But the first thing I would do is I would do the update to 1803, do the safe upgrade. Because basically it's going to start downloading all the patches it's missing, and it's going to use a whole bunch of data on your data plan, and all those patches are all built into 1803 anyway. So you're going to be downloading it all twice. So if you do 1803 first, if you do the safe upgrade update before you do everything else, then the computer will restart, and then it'll have a whole bunch of updates already downloaded and installed, and it'll have some cleanup, a second round of updates to do, but that's about it. That's honestly how I would do it.
3. How do I access that now?
Okay, so you purchased the safe upgrade from us that we had for sale in April, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what you would do is you go to SchrockInnovations.com, same place you went to go buy it, and you log into your Schrock account. And under the products that you purchased, you'll see safe upgrade from April. And then you click on that one, download it, and then run it.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right, thanks for the call, Rick. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, next up we've got Jeff. Welcome to the program, Jeff. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Shrock. I just want to give you my opinion on robocalls and whatever.
Yes, sir.
I work nights, and sometimes I got to leave my phone on,
That's just true.
and I get woken up, and so I don't like them. So that's my opinion, and that's why I vote no.
There we go. So now I have 3 no's on the robocall. So I'm starting to see a trend here, I think. Well, thank you for the call, Jeff. I appreciate it. And thanks for being part of the program. We got you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. All right. Next up, we've got Linda on the line. Linda on line 4. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
All right. How can I help you, Linda?
Well, I vote yes for the call.
Oh, you trend bucker, you. Woo-hoo. All right. So we have 3 no's and 1 yes. Why do you say yes, Linda?
Well, it's just a really convenient way for me to remind myself that, hey, it's that time again to come in and see my friend.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, Linda. We're going to go. I'll mark you. I'll put a little tally in the yes column so the yeses don't feel so lonely now. And let's see what we do here. We got a little bit of time before we do any calls, if we do them. But obviously, if you bought a certificate already or you've been in the last 6 months, we're probably not going to call you anyway. So thanks for the call, Linda. I appreciate it, and we'll get you in the drawing for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. 866-496-8772 is the number to join us on the program. Before we go to break, let's see if we can get Stephanie in. Stephanie, how can I help you on Compute This today?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I dealt with Gabriel on the phone yesterday for over an hour.
Oh my goodness!
Because my semantic wasn't working, and he did an awesome job.
Oh, awesome!
And he was awesome. He was so patient and so personable. So I just wanted to let you know how good a job he
Well,
did.
thank you very much. I appreciate that. And one of the things that's really cool is when people call into the radio show and give compliments, it's nice because then I can go back to the employees, because sometimes these young kids, they're like, they don't know where AM is on the dial. They just don't. So I'm like, it's on Facebook too. And then the young kids now are like, I don't have Facebook. And you're like, you don't have to have Facebook. You could just go there and listen to it. You don't even have to have an account. Oh, all right, maybe I'll do that. Well, now I can go, Gabe, there was a person who called the radio show about you, and I think you really need to listen to it. It's sometime about halfway through, so you better listen to the whole thing just to make sure you catch it all.
Well, he was just awesome.
Oh, thank you very much for the compliment. It means a lot to me. We have a lot of new faces in Schrock right now. Gabe is not one of the new newbies. He's been with us for almost 3 months now. So that's sad that that's not one of the new newbies. But, for example, we've got a brand new front desk employee that's started in the Lincoln Service Center, Nikki, who's doing some amazing things there in Papillion for us. And she's been with us for 2 weeks now. So we have some new faces there. But the good news here is we're doing our best to make sure that the culture of service and support and helping people continue to Schrock employees as well.
Well, that, and I'll let you know that I guess I prefer the email with the notification for the upgrade.
Oh,
or
yeah.
For the maintenance.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, we sent the email, so you should have already gotten. Did you receive the
I
email?
did.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So, we send those first. And the people who respond, we don't want to spend $1 calling people if we don't have to. Just like, so people who open the email, we know if you open the email, we can remove you from the call list. We don't have to put you on the call list. So it's kind of nice. But it's those people. The problem is now the email deliverability is so terrible. Like, for example, if you have Gmail, it goes to promotions. If you have Yahoo, it goes to spam. If you have AOL, it goes to junk. If you have Hotmail, Outlook.com, any of those, it goes to spam. Right now, anyone who has an internet service provider based email, like at Cox or at Time Warner or at Spectrum or Comcast, they get the email just fine. Apple users get it just fine. Apple email users get it just fine. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It really depends on who your email provider is, whether or not you see the message. So, and the same thing with the Drive Advisor when their hard drives start failing, because we can't. Yeah, we sent you an email, but we can't guarantee you actually saw it. And that would be terrible for we sent you 14 emails about your hard drive dying over the last year, and you didn't do anything, and now it's completely dead. I didn't see them. Well, suddenly it's a me problem, All right, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We'll get you in the drawing as well. I got to take a break here. Bottom of the hour, folks. Stay with us. It's halftime on Compute This. We'll be back with more CCleaner privacy concerns. Did you hear about this PA system thing, this Chinese rogue broadcast at the National Weather Service? Could you imagine you're sitting at your desk at work and all of a sudden you hear like Mandarin coming through the speakers? Someone that reportedly, supposedly from China, hacked the National Weather Service. Their phones started ringing, the PA system started going off, but they assure us that no critical systems were compromised. We're going to tell you what's going on coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs. And all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the special data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The nation's capital braces for today's Unite the Right rally.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is not happy the group is here, but says the city is working hard to protect First Amendment rights while protecting public safety.
We remember seeing burning tiki torches. We remember Heather Heyer.
The mayor referring to a young counter-protester killed at the demonstration in Charlottesville last year.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. Fires continue to ravage California.
Temps baking. In fact, yesterday, first time ever that West Glacier National Park hit 100 degrees. Ever since 1948 when they started keeping records. So the heat is on again. It's going to continue to be very dry.
Elsewhere, it's heavy rain.
Texas, big rain coming in throughout the day today and stretching in throughout parts of Oklahoma. By tomorrow and into Tuesday, also parts of Kansas. Also big storms moving through Las Vegas.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
A warm, smoky, and hazy start to the second half of the weekend. Sunny skies by the afternoon. A high of 92 expected today with a south wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Slowly increasing clouds from the south on Monday. A high of 91 degrees with a slight chance of an evening shower south of the metro Monday evening. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All righty, folks. Welcome back into the program. This just in. A guy named Bob called. No joke. And he says no to robocalls. Bob says no to robocalls. So right now, as reported on Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where you can watch the show live right now, we have 5 no votes and 3 yes votes. The no's are winning. Ooh, it looks like we may not do some robocalls here. All right. So, welcome back into the program. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion. What are we talking about robocalls for? Preventative maintenance checkups are on sale at Schrock Innovations. They're half off right now. So if you are geographically proximate to a Schrock Service Center, we have a location in Lincoln, Nebraska, the original, in Omaha, Nebraska at 168th and Burke, that's Village Point South, and in Papillion, the new location on 84th and Highway 370. We have had some people go to the old location still and say, well, you're Gonzies. I had a guy call me yesterday and tell me I was Gonzies. Yeah, I came to your service center and it's Gonzies. And I was like, Gonzies? Really? Okay, well, yeah, it's Gonzies. We movesies it. And it's over here on 84th and 370 now. It's about a mile down the road. And so and then he came over there. He goes, I was driving over here and Siri kept trying to tell me I was going the wrong way. And I kept telling her she was stupid. Well, I guess I thought I knew better, So that's pretty funny. But anyway, the maintenance checkups are on sale for half off. You can either come into the service center where we have open bench spots available, or you can purchase a certificate online at SchrockInnovations.com. While you are there, you heard this last caller before the break talk about Safe Upgrade. Every 6 months, Microsoft pushes out a new version of Windows 10. They push it out as an update. It is a mandatory required update that will automatically download to your computer and install on your computer. You have no say-so. You cannot stop it. You cannot postpone it. It is the Redstone 5 next version of Windows 10. So, knowing all this stuff, we also know that about 20% of the time something goes wrong and your computer doesn't take the update for some reason. It errors off. The computer takes the update, reboots, and all your data is gone. Or the computer takes the update, never reboots, and gives you an error message, or you get blue screens, or you have some kind of problem. 20% of the people that have this forced down their throat are going to have some kind of a problem. Last week, we had all those stories about Microsoft, people being upset about Microsoft's patching schedules and how they force patches, and Microsoft arguing that the way they do it is the best, and everybody else saying the way they do it is the worst. Remember we talked about the patch lady? Remember when that meant quilting? No, there's actually a lady online. Her whole online persona is she's the Microsoft patch lady. I mean, that's a boring life. I talk about it once a month, and I'm like, okay, I think I've had my fill. I can't imagine making it my moniker, Thor Schrock, the patch man, just call me Patches. 866-496-8772. All right, so rogue message in Chinese at the National Weather Service Center. Now, you may not have heard about this. This didn't make a lot of the national news. I didn't hear about it on Fox News. It was one of those stories that was kind of, on one hand, the reason I saw it is I think it was on Drudge, actually. And so I saw that because the headline is so Drudge-esque, super shocking headline, Chinese hack, National Weather Service intercom system. Oh my goodness, why would they hack the poor weather service? Was their forecast not correct? Oh my goodness. So then you get into the story and you find out it's interesting, but it's not earth-shattering. It's pretty explainable. All right, so here's the story. It came without warning. As workers were busy preparing the forecast that will only be marginally accurate at the National Weather Service in Maryland on Wednesday morning, they were suddenly interrupted by a message in Chinese piped over the building's intercom. I mean, how many piped in Chinese? Chinese is not a language. This is the Washington Post, by the way. The Chinese is not a language. People don't speak Chinese. They speak like Mandarin. Mandarin's a language. Chinese is not a language. Come on, WAPO. All right. It was a woman's voice, which also reached building employees via their phones at their desks. Oh my goodness. We're aware of the message. We're working with AT&T to figure out what happened. The intercom message, translated roughly from Chinese, said something to the effect of, "You have a package from Amazon at the Chinese embassy." Which sounds like super hackerlicious, doesn't it? It's not like, hey, you've got back taxes, press 1 to pay. You have a box from Amazon at the Chinese embassy. That's a delivery screw up. I know you've been using USPS for your deliveries lately, but come on, the Chinese embassy? I don't live at the Chinese embassy. So here's what's happening. This is a robocall, guys. This is a robocall that's going out, and basically these robocalls they're not officially sanctioned. There's not like a company issuing these robocalls. This is one of the things that gives robocalling a bad name. So this company is sent, or this organization of hackers, they go and they compromise a phone system. So they might hack, Billy Bob's fish and chips store phone system, where he has 3 phone lines in there. And then they program the phone system to send the robocalls. So then they send robocalls to other companies that have phone systems. They hack those phone systems too. And they can see, we can call the phone numbers. And so the National Weather Service in Maryland might have one phone number, but that phone number comes in, and then there's hundreds of desk extensions in there, right? And we want to reach people. That's our goal. So if we're able to hack their phone system and learn all of the extensions inside the building, we could literally send our robocall directly from one hacked telephone system to the individual desk extensions of everyone at the National Weather Service. So their phones start ringing, and they pick them up, and it's like, you have a package at the Chinese embassy, except they don't know what it's saying because it's in Chinese. that crazy language they speak in Asia, they all speak Chinese over there, I'm sure. So anyway, if you just tuned in, that probably sounded incredibly racist, but you have to have context. Chinese is not a language. They don't speak Chinese. Anyway, that's the journalism at the Washington Post coming for you there. What happened though is the intercom system for the building. You see, we've all been to Walmart, right? Or like at Kmart, where they pick up the phone on the pole and they press like 7-1, and they're like, attention Kmart shoppers, we have a blue special in aisle 4 on hot dogs. Come get a free sample of Armour hot dogs. No buns included. Buns cost extra. Some conditions apply. Click, and then they had the little blue light stand flashing up there. It's the same thing. Their phone system had an extension for the PA system so that they could do it. Attention Kmart shoppers. They use it for like fire drills. Some kook might really be upset about the weather and attack the National Weather Service. So, the shelter in place, there's an active shooter kind of thing. So the robocall is calling all the extensions in the phone system. So it calls the PA, and all of a sudden you hear this Mandarin voice on the PA talking to you, and you're like, what is going on? It probably felt really spooky because your phone rang and you picked it up and there was someone talking Chinese to you. And you hung up the phone. You're like, oh, that was weird. And you go back to work, and all of a sudden, you have a package at the embassy of China, except you didn't understand what it was saying because it was all in Mandarin. And then you're like, what is going on in here? You're like looking around. You think the apocalypse is coming. We're the weather service. We're not geared for this. Get under your desk. Get under your desk. Lock the door. Move some furniture in front of it. Tie your belt around the little hydraulic thing at the top of the door. That's a real thing. They train that in school shooting situations. If you have a hydraulic arm at the top of the door, if you take off your belt and tie it around the hydraulic arm, the door won't open, even if it's unlocked. This special tip brought to you by Safety Schrock, the new product from Schrock Innovations. We sell belts now. 866-496. We don't sell belts. I'm joking. 8772, guys. That's the number to join us on the program. Let's jump back into these phone lines. Stuart, you're next up on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
No on the robos.
Okay.
2, I have about 2.5 years ago, you had on your show a set of computers that you had purchased from Offutt Air Force Base.
Okay.
And I came in and bought one. And I bought it for my son, who was moving to Des Moines, and he never used it. So it sat in our living room for all these years. And the CPU that I have is almost 7 years old here now. And so I'm thinking, should I bring the 2 sets in and you transfer over, or should neither one of them be used and I should purchase a new one?
Okay, gotcha. And I think there was a struggling computer repair shop called ARN Networks. And so basically we acquired ARN Networks, and Schrock doesn't do anything with refurbished equipment at all. And I'm just going through the history here so that people understand that are listening. Hey, I heard you sell used computers. We don't do anything used at all because it's an absolute nightmare from a service perspective. There is a service leader while you sell refurbished equipment. You just can't do it because people have already used up the expected lifespan of the computer. And yes, you've tested everything and it's all working, and you sell it. And, even if you sell it for a quarter of what the cost of a new computer is, people will come in and say, I spent good money on that computer and I expected it to last 7 years. Well, it's already lasted 7 years. It was 7 years old when you bought it. You're going to get a year or two out of it, tops, and then you're going to recycle it. So ARN Networks was the refurbished center where all that stuff was sold. Now, the problem that we ran into at Schrock is when people caught wind that I owned both places, they understood that they were 2 separate companies. They didn't understand that Schrock is not responsible for ARN. And so they'd buy a computer at ARN that had a 90-day warranty that was a refurbished computer. Then they'd bring it into Schrock saying, hey, it's doing something wrong. I need warranty support. Well, my front desk would look up in the system and say, you didn't buy this from us. This has no warranty here. And I bought it from Thor Schrock, and it doesn't matter which one of his locations I take it to. And, it just became, again, of course, at Schrock, we're going to be like, you know what, sir, you're upset. We're just going to take care of you. This is how we roll. Let's get you going. So eventually we did, it was too hard. We couldn't keep the two companies separate and offer the separate service offerings. So we just rolled up ARN and closed it. So this is one of those computers, one of the used computers from ARN Networks.
Yep, I'll bring it in and you can recycle it.
Yeah, it's probably about time we can recycle it for you. But if there is data on it that you want, well, there's not data on that one you want to keep.
There's nothing.
But on the other one you have, when you're ready to recycle that one or buy a new computer, we can transfer the information from that computer onto a new computer for you.
That's what we'll do.
All right,
That's
sounds
what
like a
we'll
plan.
do. And I have a laptop that I bought for my wife last September. She had a heart surgery about 2 months later and has never used it.
Oh,
I'll
my
have to
gosh.
bring it in too.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, that one's probably still good. That one could use a maintenance checkup just to get it all up to date and current, to be honest.
Yep.
So I'd bring that one in for a preventative checkup while you drop off that one for recycling.
Sure, I'll bring it all of them in.
Just haul them all in. You get a big trailer and bring it all in. All right. Thanks for the call, Stuart. We got you in the drawing here as well. Got to take a quick break, guys. When we come back next, have you heard about the Samsung? The Samsung Note 9 is out. It is an absolutely amazing phone. It makes the iPhone X look like a VTech toy for kids, but the price tag. Oh my gosh, the price tag. We're going to tell you what's going on here. Also, PayPal data breach. Words you never want to hear. Coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program. Monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the specials section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
All righty, folks. Welcome into Compute This, final stretch of the program here, and we got a lot to do. So far, guys, it's looking like the robocalls are a big, fat negatore. So, yeah, we're not going to be doing robocalls, it looks like. So, what's that? Oh, Gene was a yes? Well, that makes it 6-4. So we're still negative, right? We were 5-3. We got 1 no and 1 yes. So now we're 6-4. So it's kind of rough. You know, what's going to be cool, honestly, guys, what's going to be cool right now, it's kind of a poopy situation because I have the ability to allow you guys to set preferences for email communications. And if you've added yourself to the do not email list, It's a logical assumption that if you don't want an email, you don't want a phone call. And so we don't call people who are on the do not email list. But the new version of our system that we're building right now, we've recognized the need for, I don't know, the ability to tailor your contact options. So some people, we've had calls from people who want phone calls because they didn't get the email. They might be open to both. So why can't you say, yes, I want phone calls and emails? Or why can't I say, I don't want any phone calls or emails? You know, there should be an ability to do that. And when the new system, we're going to do that. The other thing is we're going to have the capability soon of sending text messages. So maybe we should send text messages to those people who we have mobile phone numbers for. Would you find a text message more or less intrusive than a robocall? Interesting stuff. 866-496-8772. All right, so PayPal, data breach, bad news, because a lot of people are buying maintenance checkup certificates online and they're paying with PayPal. So how do you know? The whole thing about PayPal is that you never expose your credit card information to anybody. So at Schrock, we never see your credit card information if you pay with PayPal. We just get paid from your PayPal account, and PayPal acts like the gateway that takes the money from your credit card. So that way, your credit card is never exposed to anybody online, and that's how PayPal is safe. That's the cornerstone of PayPal. If that is eroded, that's a huge problem for PayPal. So PayPal and Square vulnerabilities impact mobile point-of-sale machines. So what is the mobile point-of-sale machine? I've got a Scout. He's a Boy Scout now, but when he's a Cub Scout, see, when they become Boy Scouts, they don't sell popcorn anymore. They call it Boy Scout popcorn, but Boy Scouts don't sell popcorn. Cub Scouts sell popcorn because Cub Scouts are cute little cuddly balls of, hello, sir. My name is Jacob, and I'm selling popcorn so I can go to camp. You'll help me, won't you? Yeah. Compared to, hey, dude, my name is Zach, and I'm like selling popcorn and stuff so I can go to camp. You'll help me, won't you? Like, no, Zach, get out of my face. You're like a robocall. I don't want you. So the Boy Scouts, and then they get jobs and stuff because they're older, so they'd rather go work a job because honestly, guys, the Scouts, yeah, they don't get as much of the popcorn money as you think they do. They get a good chunk of it. They really do, and it's different for every pack, but it's a good way for young boys who can't get jobs to earn money to pay their own way. It's not so great for guys who are old enough to go get a job at Chick-fil-A, if you know what I mean. So basically, when you go buy your popcorn from the Scout tables, sometimes, you know, the classic line, they go, oh, I don't have any cash on me, man. And then you say, sir, we can take credit cards. And you have one of those little triangular credit card readers plugged into your smartphone's headphone jack. And that's what we're talking about here. Those mobile point of sale gadgets, there's a vulnerability with those. This is a breaking vulnerability, so it's not like any data has been exposed up to this point. So that this is a Black Hat conference. Yeah, they all get together and have conferences. They actually get to, the Black Hat conference is a bunch of hacking people that get together to expose these vulnerabilities, to give themselves status in the community, not necessarily to attack people. And there's a whole, like, this is the responsible way to disclose it. So before it went to the conference, you know, PayPal and Square knew about this. According to researchers, attackers behind the mobile till could not only change the amount charged to your credit card, but also force customers to use other payment methods such as magstripe, which can also be compromised more easily for the purposes of data exfiltration. You don't have chip readers on the mobile devices, basically. So it's just one of those things. I wanted to tell you about this on the program so that you know that when these vulnerabilities happen, they are responsibly discovered by the companies. So it's like every week I have a story that comes out about some terrible thing where all your data was lost. There is a system in place to stop that from happening, and the system is getting better. This is that system. So we hear about this vulnerability. However, by intercepting transactions, it's possible to manipulate values. Currently, there are very few checks on merchants before they can start using one of these devices, and could be less scrupulous. You know, anybody can go on PayPal and get one of these things. Therefore, essentially steal money from people with relative ease. Okay. If you give your credit card to a thief, he's going to steal your money. This public service announcement brought to you by your friends at Schrock Innovations. Don't give your money to thieves. Okay? 866-496-8772. Galaxy Note 9. You thinking about buying one of these? I have the Note 8. And the Note 8, it's pretty awesome. It's got this cool little S Pen that I've used like 4 times in a year. But you can actually write on the screen. You can take notes. You know, because if you're not fast with the type, you can actually take handwritten notes on your screen and save them, things like that. So it's pretty cool. The new one, though, has a bigger battery than mine. It's got an all-day battery, which if I'm not tethered to a charger at least a quarter of the day, my phone a much bigger battery, 4,000 mAh, which is almost double what the iPhone X has. Let's see. The size is just about the same size. It's almost the exact same size. It's 53% faster in its processor. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM in the top line version. 8 gigabytes. The iPhone has 2 or 4, depending on which one you get. This has 4 or 8, depending on which one you get. The screen is obviously huge. The S Pen now is Bluetooth capable. The camera on the back of the phone trashes the iPhone's camera. It has a deeper aperture, which is the distance between the lens and the capturing device captures the picture, the sensor. The bigger the aperture, the better it works in low light. So this camera has dual cameras, has low light. They moved the fingerprint reader, so you don't have to put your finger over the camera lens to put it on the fingerprint reader. That was kind of a design oopsie daisy. And the home button looks like it's on the back now. It's kind of nice too. So all in all, this phone is pretty crazy. It's a USB-C charger, which is what all the new phones are going to. You can get a dock for it that hooks up to a monitor, so you can use this as your main computer if you want to. Yeah, you can put over 1 terabyte of storage in it with 8 gigs of RAM. Most computers that we check out during the maintenance checkup don't meet those specs. And this is a phone, guys. So if you had your computer that long, it's time for an upgrade. All in all, though, the sticker price may shock you a little bit. For the top of the line model that has all, we're looking at $1,250 for a phone. So yes, you can take out loans at the bank of the Chinese embassy. Press 1 for your loan application. All right, Darren, let's take Darren's call real fast. Darren, I got about 30 seconds. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yeah, just real quick. I used to work in fraud with PayPal. If you use the EMV thing that they push on you, then you have a better opportunity to not get scammed. And then also they hold money if you start to type in or swipe credit card numbers. So there's not really much of a vulnerability. They have a merchant vetting team. I know firsthand by working for them. So it's not that unsafe.
Yeah, like I said, PayPal, and one of the things that's nice about PayPal, thanks for the call, Darren, I appreciate it. One of the things that's cool about PayPal, too, is you have an extra layer of protection where if somebody scams you for money, you can go to PayPal and say, hey, this was a scam, and they will try to recover the money from the thief. Need to draw a winner from the Schrock Innovations $25 gift certificate here. Today's winner is Linda. Congratulations. You got yourself $25 at Schrock. Stop in anytime. We'll be back here again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This. Stay tuned at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations for the After Schrock coming up next.
From the Millard Roofing Studios, we've got you covered. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB, Omaha, an iHeart radio station.